Hey y'all, it's Miss Osborne. This time we're going to talk about whether or not your grades really matter. We'll try to figure out how your grades affect your college options. So, first of all, what info do colleges use to determine admissions? There are a bunch of different things, but overall they're interested in your overall GPA, so not just your GPA from your freshman or your senior year, but over the course of all 4 years. And just as a reminder, your GPA is the mathematical average of all of your semester grades that you earn in high school. And they are specifically interested in those core classes, so your English, your math, science, social studies, and your world languages. They care about the other things. They, especially if you are looking into a program that is really particular, they might be really interested in your IT classes or really interested in your art classes if you're planning to enroll in one of those degree programs. But generally, admissions officers are looking to see what your grades are in those core classes. Now, they also are looking to see whether or not you challenged yourself. And what I mean by that is they don't just want students who get straight A's in standard courses. If you have the ability to take a slightly more difficult course, they want to see that you are doing that. They are able to see all of the courses that are offered at Overton. And if you have the option to take a Cambridge course or to take an honors version of a course, they would like to see that you do that as best you can. Now, we don't want to take all honors or all Cambridge courses if we feel like that's not something that we can manage really effectively. But if you are really great at sciences or really interested in sciences, I would encourage you to go ahead and take a slightly harder science. Typically speaking, a B in an honors or an AP class or a Cambridge course is more desirable to a college or a university than just getting an A in a standard course. And we also know that they'll be looking at your ACT or your SAT scores. What's a good ACT is a question I get all the time. The short answer is it's whatever you feel like you need to get into that college or whatever the college has said is like a minimum ACT score. We'll talk more about the ACT later and the ways that it can play both into getting admitted into college and also getting you eligible for certain scholarships. But we'll come back to that. Today is all about grades. I want you to keep in mind that selective schools, and when I say a selective school, it's a school that receives more applications than they admit students. And they can be really selective. So there are some like your Harvards or your Dartmouths that will only accept about 9% of the students who apply to them. And those kinds of selective schools, including Vanderbilt, are looking also at what you write in your essays, what kind of community or volunteer service you do, and the letters of recommendation that you ask for from your teachers and from outside community members. Okay, so let's rewind and go right back to grades. In school, we're usually talking about grades on a 100-point scale. So you might ask Mr. Newt, hey, Mr. Newt, what did I get on my test? And he would say, good job, you did it, not you got a 95. And that's because that test was out of 100. And a 95 usually means that we got an A. So let's think a little bit though about our word of the day, transcript. A transcript is the official record for all of your semester grades. And this year, because we're on a 4x4 schedule, you'll receive your first transcript grades in October once your first semester grades are posted. So when we get back from fall break, you will have your first semester on your transcript. That means when it's time to apply for colleges, the grades that you earn in this first 9 weeks, the ones that you're currently in, will be on your official transcript. You have a little bit of time to get those grades up if that's what we're looking for, but know that colleges will be able to see those grades. So let's take a minute to think about how your first semester grade is calculated. So your first 9 weeks report card grade is 40%. Your second 9 weeks report card grade is 40%, and then your exam for that semester is 20%. Second semester functions a little bit differently, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But when we're thinking about this first semester, this is how we calculate our grades. Let's look at an example. So Zara is in her English 1 class, And on her first report card, she got an 85 for that whole report, that whole 9 weeks. On her second report card, she got a 94 for that 9 weeks. And her exam grade, she got an 80. So you'll see the math there. And I want you to take a second to figure out what her grade is going to be. And then we'll come back and do it together. Okay, so 85 times 0.4 is 34. 94 times 0.4, that's 40%, is 37.6. And 80 times 0.2 is a 16. So we add those numbers together and we get 87.6. And we round that up to get her grade, which is an 88. So if a college were looking at this, they would say that for that class specifically, she was able to get a 3.0, a B. But what if Zara does not show up for her exam? So she sleeps through it, completely misses it. We know if she doesn't take it, she's not able to get the grade that we know she's capable of getting, and instead she earns a 50. Let's calculate what this grade might be instead. So we'll plug that in. We know that 85 times 0.4, 40% is 34, just like it was before. Same thing with 94 times 0.4, 37.6. But a 50 times 0.2 is 10. So that drops that grade down to an 81.6, which gets rounded up to an 82. So this grade is a C, which means that her grade, her GPA for this class specifically, has dropped from a B to a C, changes it from a 3.0 to a 2.0. Now that might not seem like it would matter much right now, but in the long run, that might make a difference. So if we look at Zara's transcript after her first semester, so at the end of October, we see that all her grades have shown up like this. What is her actual GPA for the first semester? So we'll add those 4 grades up, we'll divide by 4, that gives us 82.25, which is an 82, rounds down to an 82, which is overall a 2.0 for her first semester. Would that get her into her college of choice? So Zara had a conversation with Miss Hutchison and me, Miss Osborne, and she let us know that her dream college was MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University. She's really interested in studying business administration in college. So let's take a second to look at MTSU's admissions requirements to see if her current GPA would grant her admissions. So here is a look at what MTSU is looking for students that guarantees admission into their college. Now, guaranteed admissions is something that if you meet these specific requirements, you automatically are able to go to MTSU. If you don't, it doesn't mean that you can't. This just means that if you do have this, you 100% will be eligible to attend MTSU. So what do we see here? What's the GPA requirements that you see? So for guaranteed admissions, she would need a 3.0 or a 2.7 plus an ACT score of a 19. Right now, we know that her first semester GPA is a 2.0, which means, unfortunately, she is not in a place currently to be able to get into MTSU. Thankfully, it is early enough in her high school career that she can really improve her GPA and get herself to where she wants to be to attend the school that she wants to attend. I want you to take a second and write down some suggestions for how Zara can improve her grades. So here are some ideas that I came up with. I think it's really helpful when students come to their synchronous class every single day and you're able to get some instruction from your teachers. That might help to clarify things that are really difficult in the Florida Virtual School content that you're learning. Students who study a little bit for each class each day are able to retain that information. They'll be able to pull it out of their brains when they're on a test much more easily than if they tried to cram the day before or if they never studied at all. Remembering that she could go to office hours to ask for help when she doesn't understand something from class. She can get some one-on-one support with a teacher just by clicking that booking app and scheduling a time to talk to them. She also could ask her friends if they want to start a study group during asynchronous times when you're not physically supposed to be in your class, but you're supposed to be working on that class's work, a few of her and her friends could get together and talk through what they've been learning to make sure that everybody understands. And if that doesn't work, she can always go to tutoring. Overton offers it for free. And I would also encourage her to retake tests whenever possible so that she can always improve her grade until grades are finalized. So tell me, what did you come up with? So remember, class of 2024, you're in charge of your future. You get to be the one who sets the course for what you do over all 4 years of high school. So if you have already thought about what kind of college or university you want to go to, I would encourage you to spend some time looking into what it takes to get admissions there. And so if your grades have you on track to where you want to go, good job, keep up the good work. If not, there are so many things that we can work on to change to help you get to what you want to do. Remember that your teachers, Miss Hutchinson, me, we're all here to help. So just reach out if you need something. And as always, remember to take this quick survey for me. It helps me know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to help you be successful. Thanks so much, and I'll see y'all soon.